Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Chicago Conservative. If you are a new viewer, make sure you hit that like, subscribe button. And if you are a returning viewer, then thank you guys for coming back. I really appreciate it. But if you don't subscribe, then I'm sorry to tell you this, but Karine Jean-Pierre is going to show up to your house every day and talk about Bidenomics. Okay, guys, I know that's going to be hella annoying, but make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe. But today, guys, we're going to be talking about Charlamagne the God versus Vivek Ramaswamy, guys. I don't even know why they keep on putting this man on the Breakfast Club. But he be cooking. When I say cooking, he's cooking Charlamagne the God. You guys already know how I feel about Charlamagne the God if you are OG watcher, but I cannot stand Charlamagne the God. He's honestly one of the biggest reasons why black people voted for Joe Biden, believe it or not. When he did that interview with Joe Biden, if you don't vote for me, then you ain't black. Yeah, Charlamagne the God was a part of that, guys. So really, after he did that, I never really liked him. He was just weird. He likes getting pegged and all this other crazy stuff, guys. So me personally, he's not political either. He's no better than Ricky Smiley and all these other fools out here. Okay, guys. So basically, Charlamagne the God was just talking about identity politics the whole time, basically trying to say that the GOP would never accept Vivek Ramaswamy due to his religion and him being Indian, guys. So you already know how Charlamagne the God thinks. You know how he works. He basically just want to keep on trying to spread the narrative that white people are the ones with power when it comes to the Republican Party, which is not true. I mean, we're Americans. It has nothing to do with color. And then it's like his counter argument was basically like he doesn't care. This is why I love Vivek Ramaswamy. He does not care what these people think about his religion or his, his skin color. Me personally, I don't like identity politics either. I actually, believe it or not, hate identity politics. This is why Obama and all of these fools got elected in the first place. And this is what led our country into a ruin, guys. So me personally, never been a big fan of it after Obama, guys. But like I said, Vivek also brings up Kamala Harris and how she never basically done no interviews. She's done no town hall meetings. She have not done anything when it comes to the media ever since she became the Democratic nominee. I mean, what else do you want him to say? I mean, he's not lying. But they want to keep on trying to defend this narrative like, oh, Kamala Harris is in the media. She's in the public. She's in no, she is not. No, she's not. She's hiding, just like how they was hiding Joe Biden for 3.5 years until election year came around, which is this year. They did the same thing with Kamala Harris, and they're doing the same thing right now as we speak. But like I said, guys, the media is clearly covering for Kamala Harris. They don't want this lady to go on any type of platform because she's incompetent. Oh, I fell out of a coconut tree. Like, are you serious? She's slow. Okay, guys, I'm sorry, but I never got it when it came to Kamala Harris, guys. But you know what I'm saying? Like I said, let's just get right into this video, guys. Roll the clip.
When Ann Coulter told you that she wouldn't vote for you because you're Indian. She told you that verbatim.
Yes, you are an Indian, is what she said. So I think it's shameful. I disagree with it deeply. But one of the things that I think we need more of in this country, the only thing worse than that, is her not saying it.
But you know, it's a lot of people in the party. A lot of people in the party who look at you like that, though. I mean, it's the same party that would make racist jokes about you, draw the racist cartoons.
Well, here's one of the things I actually haven't mentioned this before. One of the things that bothered me a little bit in the campaign is maybe it's because of my style or whatever. A lot of people in the Republican primary base would say, oh, he's just telling us what we want to hear. And I don't think that he actually means it or believes it. I really wanted to tell you what you wanted to hear. Do you think I would tell you that I'm a Hindu who practices with my beliefs without changing or shortening my last name? So if I'm going to stick to that, you have a lot of politicians in American politics, including other people on that debate stage that have changed their name, some who have evolved their religion. I haven't done any of those things. So if I wanted to tell you something that was going to make it easier for me to win, those would be the number one and two things that you would do. But my view is you got to be who you are. And I am somebody who has my own beliefs. And I am proud of not only my faith, because it guides me to make the decisions I do, but who I am and how I got to where I am. I think in the long run, people do respect that level of authenticity and commitment. And so are there going to be a lot of people who, on either side of the spectrum, to say, I can't vote for you for some silly reason? Sure. But I'm not going to be a victim over that. You know what? If I'm running to be president of the United States, I can't blame the media. I certainly can't blame the voters. It's my job to actually give people a reason to say, you know what, you might have believed what you did before, but here's your reason to think about it a little bit differently. Who said that, you know what? If he shares the same value set that I do and is actually going to advance the country and allow me to be religiously free, I think there were a few people who we brought along that way, more than a few people over the course of the campaign. I won't say that you're the only person who's responsible for your destiny, because there's always external factors that hold you back, external prejudices or whatever. You and I, in our last conversation, talked about this a lot in the black community, but you could say the same thing in this context. You're talking about me and my race. There are other factors, but the number one factor that determines whether or not you succeed or achieve your goals is you. So for me, now I got to preach that hard truth to myself. Are there a lot of factors that were uphill factors for me in this race, including my last name being harder to remember or to pronounce, the fact that I'm Hindu, which you haven't had a Hindu president before? Are there a lot of other reasons why? Sure. But the number one reason why I wasn't successfully elected comes still down to me. And I got to look and confront myself in the mirror and ask myself what I could have done better to succeed. And so same message I'm going to preach to the left or preach to the other side, I'm going to try to practice in my own life as well. If you want to be the leader of the country, it's up to you to level up and actually explain to people why you believe that your vision is going to be best for them. The most challenging but most enriching thing I've done in my life was the last year of traveling this country, meeting people of all creeds, all political persuasion, all races, strengthened me. And you know what? Whatever I do next, I'm going to be stronger for it. And we're figuring that out right now. I would love to see us both candidates, and Kamala Harris hasn't done this yet. And I'd love to challenge her to do it because I think it's good for the voters of the country. She hasn't sat down for one media interview of a hard-pressing one-on-one variety yet. And she's actually the leading candidate now in many of the polls. Mm-hmm. So I just think we deserve a country where the people are willing to show up. She should show up here. She should show up on CNBC, where I was this morning, and actually engage in hard questions about what her beliefs are. Pressed on exactly that very issue. And I think that's good for the American people to then be able to make their own judgment. It's not your judgment or the journalist's judgment, but it's what people at home are able to see to assess. Do I actually believe somebody who believes they changed their mind over the course of time? Kamala Harris might have changed her mind, and I think it's okay. Mm-hmm. Flip-flopping is one thing. Changing your mind thoughtfully is another. And it's up to the voters to decide whether or not they believe you. Right now, we're not getting that chance. And I do think it is, you're saying, well, hopefully we're going to see that. I'm not sure yet that we will. It's been about a solid month that Kamala Harris has been the presumptive nominee. We got the convention coming up, this coming week. I think it is vital for the health of this country that the same treatment that the media gave Joe Biden in that last few weeks after his debate, they didn't do that for 3 years. Yeah. For 3 years, we missed that. The fact that it took that early debate and Donald Trump demolishing him in that debate for the country to suddenly wake up and say that Joe Biden is not a functioning U.S. president is actually a damning indictment of the entire media and its relationship to the political class. I think the media needs to demand that she at least face the same kind of questioning that, frankly, J.D. Vance and Donald Trump are getting right now. And then the public, it's up to them to decide. That's a functioning democracy.
But her not doing the interviews, and based off of the way that Biden was treated in those last couple of weeks, you're not implying that you don't think she's competent to be the president of the United States, right?
I'm saying the media is covering for her right now the same way they covered for Biden for 3 years.
You think they're covering, or you think that she's just using her
They're not playing
strategy?
hard. They're not paying this. She's using a strategy.
Politicians do.
That's fine. But I think it's the media's job now to cut through that strategy and say, this person very well could be the president of the United States. Has at least a 50% chance right now, according to most forecasts, of being the next president. She deserves to be questioned, not with kid gloves, but questioned with the gloves off on what exactly her policy vision is for the country. I think the voters are hiding in the dark, and that's what allows the machine to work, because we know she's questioned a lot on that behind closed doors. Who's funding the campaigns of both parties? Behind closed doors, a lot of donors ask a lot of questions. That's how you raise hundreds of millions of dollars in just 1 month. Voting public deserves that same level of transparency. Say what you will about, you could criticize either side. I like that Donald Trump showed up at the Libertarian Party convention, right? That's a third party. I like that he spoke to the National Association of Black Journalists in Chicago. I'd love for Kamala Harris to show up at the National Association of journalists.
Well, she wanted to, but they wouldn't let her do the virtual thing. She does have a day job.
But the day
She's still
job,
vice president.
No, but the day job is running. Come on. At this point, she is going full time, reading off a teleprompter at the rallies, the same thing 4 times a day. She should show up for that interview. If Donald Trump sits down with the National Association of Black Journalists, I'm sorry, a scheduling excuse is not a valid reason for the
don't we know
competitor to also show up.
But if Kamala sits down with NABJ, we know where she's going conversation-wise, right? I think it's honestly,
not necessarily true. I don't think that's true. I think the person who did that interview for Donald Trump, if they had taken the same approach with respect to Kamala Harris, I think that'd actually be pretty good conversation for the country.
I don't know if she would. I want to see the vice president on Fox News.
Yeah, I think she should go across the room.
Even better.
Yeah.
Even better, right? So one of the things I liked, I mean, Donald Trump went to the Bronx. People could say it wasn't the real Bronx or whatever, but he showed up in the Bronx. He showed up in the South Bronx, showed up in inner cities in the country. And I went to the south side of Chicago, went to a room full of, 95% black, 95% Democrat. It's not a traditional Republican primary location. Mm-hmm. I went to Kensington in the inner city of Philadelphia. Speaking as a former candidate myself, I could tell you those trips had an impact on me, right? It had an impact on my view of a national unity that I believe is possible in this country that I wouldn't have had if I hadn't showed up there. I'd love to see Kamala Harris go into rural Mississippi, go into Alabama, showing up at a Fox News moderated town hall.
Well, she does do that. Now, we can't act like she doesn't do that. I mean, even the past week, she hit all of the battleground states, and she's actually hitting the street, which I think in a lot of ways is more effective right now than sitting
with
down and doing an
hostile questioning,
interview.
though, is not. Answer questions from people who disagree with her. That's what the country's founded on. All right, so face off with the people you disagree with.
So like town halls, you mean?
Yeah, town halls.
I'm not mad at that.
And or hostile journalists. Mm-hmm. And here's why. When you stop talking to people who disagree with you, it becomes a lot easier to demonize them.
I agree.
And that's what happens in the country. So say what you will about, I know we probably have different views on who we're voting for this cycle. But I will say more so than most Republicans, and in this cycle more so than the Democratic opponent, Donald Trump has talked to people who disagree with him, faced off more than Kamala Harris has. And I think she has a couple months left to see if she has it in her to level up. If you want to sit across the table from Xi Jinping or Vladimir Putin, then you better be willing to sit across the table from your fellow Americans who disagree with you and face that questioning too. If she does that, I'm not going to say I'm going to vote for her, but because I disagree with her on the policies, but I will respect her as a candidate in a way that I don't until she actually does. Going after Kamala Harris for being a flip-flopper or telling audiences what they want to hear, I think is a good line of attack because we don't know what her policies are. She's against fracking. Now she says she's not against fracking. A few years ago, she said she wanted to have a single-payer healthcare system and a nationalized U.S. healthcare system and abolish private health insurance. She raised her hand when they said, do you favor abolishing private health insurance on the debate stage? She raised her hand. Are you just going to tell people what they want to hear, or are you going to tell your people what you actually believe about yourself and who you are? That, I think, is an interesting line of attack. And that could include some cultural elements. Going after her for what her racial identity is or isn't, I don't think that's a good line of attack. But the idea that are you somebody who's going to tell people your actual beliefs, or are you just going to tell whichever audience is in front of you what they want to hear, that I think is valid.
People are out here hurting, and people want to know how you're going to put money in their pocket and how you're going to keep them safe.
Yep.
Whoever can speak to those things to the next 80-plus days, that's who wins this election.
Mass illegal immigration, economic growth, and staying out of World War III.
Now, I'm going to just say this, guys. Donald Trump is out there in the media way more than Kamala Harris. She wishes she was out there as much as Donald Trump, guys. She's not in the media at all. She has not done anything. And she's trying to get rid of private health insurance. So if you have private health insurance, if you vote for Kamala, yeah, you can kiss that goodbye. So no more health insurance for people who don't want crappy, insurance when it comes to health care. She raised her hand when they asked her that, by the way. Do you want to get rid of private health insurance? And she raised her hand, yes. This lady's an absolute fool, guys. They don't know anything when it comes to Kamala Harris policies, guys, especially Charlamagne the God. I hate when people keep giving these, I'm going to just name drop, I'm sorry, like Stephen A. Smith and all of these weird celebrities. Like, why are you guys giving these people politic credentials? Like, where did they political credentials come from? I'm really getting lost here. Because at this point, Charlamagne the God, you're just going to lead black people right down the hole, dude. Like, seriously, like, Vivek Ramaswamy, he reached out to way more black people when it came to Kamala Harris. That includes people here in Chicago, on the South Side. That's where I'm from, by the way. And it's like, Charlamagne the God, you are such a fool. This man is literally telling you that he's been basically where Kamala Harris should be because she's a Democrat, but she's really just a leftist weirdo. And you're still not listening. This is unbelievable how crime is up so much in Chicago. I believe it's up by like 5% when it comes to crime. And Vivek Ramaswamy still has the guts to come out in Chicago on the South Side and speak to young black men. He said 95% of them were black and Democrats. That takes guts. You think Kamala Harris is really gonna go out in enemy territory? I would think not, guys. She's not gonna do it. I don't even think she's gonna do this debate on Fox. I mean, is it on Fox or is it on ABC? I don't know, guys, but even any platform you put this lady on, she's not going to sound smart. I'm sorry, like AI cannot make you sound smarter than what you are. I mean, unless it's going to be clearly AI, but you don't even know what AI is. AI is what, 2 letters, right? Like oh my God, I cannot believe you people are running with Kamala Harris. And you people are only running on identity politics. When it comes to Kamala Harris, she doesn't have any policies, guys. She has none. If anybody can say one policy besides the same policies that Joe Biden has, please put it in the comments. Because she has the same policies as Joe Biden, if not worse. She's more harsher on abortion. Like, even Joe Biden wouldn't want to, you know what I'm saying, put a baby at its misery around 6, 7, 8 months, 9 months, like Kamala Harris. And Tim Walz, he actually signed a bill in Minnesota for this, guys. These people are crazy. Do you guys want this to be the future president and vice president of the United States? That is unbelievable how you can just be so openly foolish. Even when it comes to your ethnicity, like, you don't even want to own up to your heritage. Indian, by the way, which Vivek Ramaswamy is Indian, and he owns up to his heritage. He doesn't care what people think, but you care about what people think. You got to sit up here and say you're black. When you're not black, you're Indian. But you got to say you're black just so you can get a vote? That's disgusting. Vivek Ramaswamy would never sit up there and say, oh, I'm black. I'm just like you guys, so vote for me. And try to, you know what I'm saying, like, persuade voters to vote for him based off identity politics. That is the dumbest thing you can do when it comes to politics, guys. I'm sorry. If it ain't good policies, I don't want to hear it anymore. Okay? You guys effed that up with Obama, and honestly, he's a sick man. But I'm not even going to get into that with him and the kids. They're 80,000 now. 80,000 kids missing now, guys. Trust me, I've not forgot about that. And Joe Biden. You know what I'm saying? Like, these people are in cahoots. We was actually just talking about Operation Pizza something. I believe it was Pizza. It was something. But basically, they're all in cahoots. Clintons, Obamas, the Bidens, all of them, guys. But you guys in the comments probably know what I'm talking about. But like I said, Kamala Harris, you're just basically trying to use these radio stations. I actually think she tried to get a streamer as well. I think his name is Castanet or something like that. Tried to get her on his stream and he denied her, guys. Laughed at her. Because I think he had enough sense to know what she was trying to do. Because Trump actually was successful when he did it with another streamer. And that's why I'm like, that's all they want to do is copy Donald Trump. They can't do anything else but try. Oh, Kamala Harris. Oh, no tax on tips. You're the vice president. You can do that right now. You moron. Like, they don't even know what they're doing. But at this point, if you're listening to Charlemagne the God for political advice at this point, you're dumb. I'm sorry. Like, you're a fool. And even when it came to Ricky Smiley, oh, I'm just voting for her just because she's a black woman. Okay, so what? She's going to leave our border open. Oh, but she's black, though. Okay, she's going to let in illegals that's coming from prisons. You guys do know 90% of the people that's coming through our border are males, right? Grown-ass men, right? It's not women and children. It's men from Venezuela and Mexico and Africa and basically Gaza and everywhere from the Middle East. They're coming from everywhere. They're coming from everywhere, guys. We can't even keep up with all these immigrants now. They're everywhere. Oh, but she's black. She's black. So let's just let them come into our country, you know, like a fool. Like, I can't stand people like Charlamagne and Guy. You actually just need to just shut up. Talk about sports or something, bro. Like when it comes to politics, you're gonna lead black people back on that plantation, bro. Mentally and damn near physically. Because the left are communists, bro. They are communists. Bernie Sanders is a communist. Tim Walz is a communist. These are open communists here. But you guys be the judge of that. Make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe button. Make sure you guys tune in to the next video. And I got one more announcement, guys. We're having an event Wednesday, August 21st. Now, this event is going to be something very special, guys. It's called Chicago Red Sunset on the Democratic Party. It's going to be on 5700 Lakeshore Drive on the beach, guys. And it's going to be dancing. It's going to be food. And we're actually going to say deuces to the Democratic Party, guys. So make sure you guys try to make it to that. If you are in Chicago, you know what I'm saying? If you're not, you know, I mean, it's okay. You know, I'm still here for you. But make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe button and tune in next time. And I am out of here, guys. Peace.